Hello, vinyl community. George Allen here, otherwise known as George. LPs and CDs. And I'm going to be doing a quick review of some of the records that I received from Robert, also known as Robert on my turntable, that he sent me is some VCLT. And just going to do 3 of them today. And because I like to be able to get into VCLT that's sent to me before I do a review, and he sent me a nice bunch of them. So I'm going to get into it now, and because I don't like my videos to be too long, and I can't believe it, this is the 4th one I'm doing this week. This is like overload for me almost. But he really sent me some good stuff. First one I want to talk about is what I like the most. And that's Mr. Wilson. This is fabulous. Teddy Wilson at the piano. And it's on Decca. Show it to you here. And it's 1955 recording. And I'll tell you what, back in the 50s, these things had some weight to them. So, put it back in there. He did a nice one of the few songs that I recognize from on your Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, and Bess, You Is My Woman. But I'll tell you what, I have not had a record by Teddy Wilson. This guy is one phenomenal piano player. Now on this record, it's him playing piano, and he has a bass player and drummer. Some of the tracks, it sounds to me like it's just him on piano, but others, you can definitely hear the bass player drummer. And it's some exceptional playing. It's a great recording, and I was just totally amazed. And you know what it wanted me to do? Guess what? It wanted me to buy some more Teddy Wilson. So I looked and I thought, well, you know what, George? You made a promise that in February you wouldn't buy any more. So, because I was looking at one, somebody showed a Lester Young and Teddy Wilson album. And I thought, well, that would be a good one to get. Almost got it, but I held back. But somewhere down the road I'm going to get more, and I thank you, Robert, for sending me to this great jazz piano player. He played in the swing style. That was his style of playing. This is a wonderful record, and I'm glad I got it. Like this type of music a lot. Very good record. The next one I wanted to talk about, probably my second favorite, and for a very unusual reason, and that's the Sting. This is a great sounding record, and this was a real boom to Marvin Hamlish's career, and of course most of you are probably familiar with it because this has Scott Joplin's ragtime music on it. The arrangements are phenomenal, and there's two songs I think that, 2 short songs that Marvin Hamlish wrote, and there's one song that I think the arranger wrote. He was string player or something. And but most all the songs were written by Scott Joplin. That ragtime music and some of these arrangements reminded me of when I was a little guy. My mom used to take me to these concerts in the park where town I grew up in, and they had this outdoor like amphitheater, and what I called it was an oopa band. You know, it was like a small brass woodwind band, and just like you see in kind of like in some of these old time movies, and I used to really like that. In fact, I really love marching band music, like John Philip Sousa and that stuff, and I have some of his music. I really like this record a lot. It's, as I said, it's a great sounding record. Totally amazed me for one that's soundtrack, and the music is just phenomenal. And Marvin Hamlisch, he's a great talent, you know. I don't know what he's been up to recently. This is from 1974, and piano and orchestra. And there's couple of cuts are just piano, but mostly piano and orchestra. Wonderful, wonderful album, and it's on MCA. That's what it looks like. So again, this was truly a wonderful album. And I mentioned when I opened this up and did the opening of these that I do have a number of soundtracks. I'm a big movie soundtrack, Broadway play soundtrack, musical type of guy, so this fits in with my collection a lot. So the next one I'm going to talk about, Harry Belafonte. This was a big surprise. I like this. This was on RCA, you know, black vinyl, of course, and boy, the collection of songs he does on here is just outstanding. And his voice, this is called the Midnight Special, produced by Hugo Montenegro. He does the song Midnight Special, has just a small band on it, 2 guitars, bass, and drums. And there's also 2 horns, a trumpet, saxophone. And actually on one song, let's see if I can find it, on one song Bob Dylan plays harmonica. How about that? But Midnight Special, of course, is a great song. There's another one. Oh, On Top of Old Smoky. He does almost a 6-minute version of On Top of Old Smoky. I mean, I grew up hearing that song a lot, and there were all kinds of other versions of it, you know, comical versions, but he does a terrific job of it. And it's really heart-rendering. I really like it a lot. It's great. And Mule Skinner, I mean, some great songs. And just really, really just a phenomenal album. This was done in I didn't write it down. Why did I write that down? This was in the 60s, I believe. Oh, I messed up something on that. I didn't write down when this was done. I think it was in the mid-60s or something. Yes. Mid-60s, early 60s. I think like 63 or something, like possibly like that. 64. Okay, George. You blew it on this one. Oh well. Yep, not going to waste time on that. Anyhow, I think it was like maybe 63, 64, whatever. But it's a great album. And of course, you know, Harry Belafonte, what a great stylist in singing, you know. Wonderful, wonderful singer. So hard to beat, hard to beat, hard to beat. So those are the ones I wanted to talk about today. Thoroughly enjoy getting to know Teddy Wilson, Harry Belafonte, and hearing Marvin Hamlish, his interpretation of Scott Joplin for the Sting, and an interesting story behind that whole thing. And I'm not going to review it all. Most of you probably know it better than I do, so I just wanted to talk about these great records that Robert sent me. So, hey, it's Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Just stay safe. That's all I gotta say. See you later. Bye-bye.